Hello, discerning viewer. Mark and Chris here. The William and Harry, the video game
You're not carrying on with that shit
development.
again, are you?
Mate, I'm doing it for all of them. And yes, I figured out I'm going to be William, you're going to be Harry, right?
Okay, all right.
Because you are devilishly handsome, right?
Yeah.
And a rebel.
Right. But now
And
exiled from
yes, and
everything that I ever
well,
once
who
held dear.
knows? Who knows, right? Game of Thrones, who knows? And one day I will be king, that's what I think. But who knows? Maybe you'll stab me in the back. These are all things royal
That's
family.
right. That's right. Maybe I'll see you in the throne room one day and behead you and take my position.
In my right and position.
It's it. It's me now.
Yeah, that is. We are broadcasting, or not. We're recording the day after the coronation, which was, I think, a wonderful tribute to the fact that we've translated the Steam store page into German. I wasn't expecting a nation to respond in such a way.
That's an
But
amazing sieg. That's fantastic.
yes, yeah. I mean, there's deep ancestral links between the House of Windsor and
That's right.
the royal family. I did a quick Google beforehand, and the House of Windsor used to be called the House of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. There you go.
As a British man, I was aware of that.
Yeah. What, you
Yeah.
knew the House of Saxe-Coburg? You didn't know that?
I knew that name well. Didn't you?
No.
That's brilliant. So we got German versions, what you're saying. Is that actually going to
Well,
be ready for Alpha 3?
no, we've got a German store page,
Right.
not a German. Not a German.
So you can be on our store page as a German, going, oh wow, it's
mean-
been translated into German.
What the royal family are going to do when we translate the game into Germany, mate, I don't know how they're going to top it from yesterday.
Yeah, that is on a par with the once in a generation crowning of a new British sovereign, isn't it? Right, all right. So we've got a few new things to look at. Let's start with some simple stuff, shall we? Stuff that, quite frankly, should have been in Alpha 1, if I'm being brutally honest, but it wasn't. Why wasn't it in Alpha 1? Because we are so sloth-like in our development. Let's go to the settings menu, and in the settings menu, you'll see there's a new button that says full screen mode.
Nice.
I'm going to click that button, right? And now I get a list of possible window resolutions, which I can change, like so, and then click apply. And in doing so, I can make the game
Crash
run.
the video software.
I can crash our video recording software and ruin everything. There you go. You can still see that, can't you?
Yeah, I can. That's
Perfect.
good. Yeah.
So this is courtesy of one of our new interns from Imperial College.
Should we name check him? Which one was it?
This one was Alfie.
Alfie, well done, Alfie.
Yeah, and it's been a long time coming, but somehow he just I guess you could say it's been a victim of violent prioritization.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
It's
And it's not the most interesting of things, but this is it's a bit of a harbinger, right? Well, not harbinger. It's a prophet of better things to come, because we've got a couple of interns now, and they're going to be doing much more interesting things. But they've got to start somewhere, haven't they?
yeah, and I think
they've got to learn some stuff. And
I think that you're right that it's it's not an exciting feature. It's more like catching up with the things that you just are like bare necessities, that are needed for a game.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's how I would describe it. Okay, let's go back to this ship. Do you remember this ship from Alpha 2?
Yeah, I remember this shit.
We were messing around, weren't we, with all this logisticsy stuff, and this facility here essentially gathers Metreon gas and processes it, and then turns it into FTL charges. And these munitions factories are making ammo for our guns, right? Now, I warned you in Alpha 2 that these were designed in mind that somebody would have to operate these desks. Did I not?
I remember that. You did indeed.
I gave you fair warning. So I've done that. So I'm going to spawn some metal ingots like down here because we're currently short. And these munitions factories will spin up and start working.
Cool.
And we shall see what is required. Hopefully. Here we go. So this is quite simple.
There he is.
It's quite simple. Yeah. So these desks just need somebody to be stood in front of them, operating them in order to do anything. Otherwise, they don't produce anything at all. So it's like a slight burden on your crew, you know. In this case, it's only 3. It's not a big deal. But I hear you say,
But
what else in your ship might require crew?
well, it's I mean, it's the whole logistical tale, isn't it?
Let's go even further.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's try this. Let's undock from here. So here's a ship that I often like to return to.
Good-looking ship.
Now you may notice something has changed, or maybe you won't. I don't know. Maybe I have to give you some hints. All right. These are our gun turrets. Right.
Okay.
That is our cannon, and that is our Gatling gun. They look remarkably neutered, don't they?
They do. They
don't look like
threatening at all.
They don't look like they're ready to strike enemy targets, do they? And the reason is because they are not being operated by your crew.
Yeah, nice.
So this is a much bigger extension of that same change. So the underlying change that I made was to make it so that I could require crew members to operate certain pieces of equipment. But this is the big change that comes with that. All gun turrets now require a crew member to operate them. And this is this breaks a lot of existing ships, because there are people who have built ships with hundreds of gun turrets in them and have 20 crew or something.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really sit right.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
And I can show you an example of that. In fact, I think I will show you an example of just that. Have a look at this. So this is actually one of my performance test ships. It's one of the Steam Workshop ships.
It's ridiculous.
It's USS Halberd. Oh, it doesn't have the author name filled in. Yeah, it is ridiculous. And you can see these are all gun bays, right? Every single one of these is a gun turret. So this the person that made this ship has a lot to answer for, actually, because because this pretty much motivated me to go like, no. I'm afraid not, sunshine. So I'm afraid that those days are over. Let's go back to our test ship then. This one. So how does it work? The natural thing to mention about gun turrets is that your crew on board a spaceship don't sit at the gun turret all day long, 24/7. You don't just have somebody on the gun all day long, like swiping on his phone, because they're not active, right? We're not in a combat scenario. We have what happens in science fiction movies when you enter a combat scenario, right?
Set condition red throughout the ship. Red alert. Right. Shields up.
There you go. Right, those are classics. And I went with battle stations. Okay.
Battle stations.
So there's
I wanted general quarters.
Yeah.
But no one knows what that means.
General quarters does.
It's only because I'm British.
Show up in Star Trek, doesn't it? But Star Trek also went with red alert much more commonly.
British, so it's like a Royal Navy thing, isn't it?
That's the thing, you see. I have a feeling that no one knows what general quarters means.
But isn't this the point of localization? We can localize it into all of their different,
But I don't think anybody British knows what general quarters means.
It's probably the wrong thing anyway.
Maybe a handful of Navy personnel might know what you mean, and they go like, "Oh, that's interesting." But then they would tell you why what this button does is not general quarters, wouldn't they?
Yeah, this is why I want to get the bosun's calls in as well. The bosun's whistles they used to use.
Yeah,
do it all, but no.
All right, so if you find yourself in a sector where there's some enemy ships who are looking a little bit aggressive, you can click this battle stations button at any time, and your crew immediately run to the guns, right? And you'll see that all the guns extend outward.
Yeah,
see that?
Nice. Yeah.
So you have a little bit of a getting ready phase,
Yeah.
Your guns are not actually always operational, And if you unclick battle stations, all your guns immediately retract inward,
It's like such a small. It's a little change, right?
Yeah.
But it means so much. all of that Star Trek, her gunfighter bays are open. That implicit threat, right? That you walk in and you're already at that. You send a message, don't you?
Yeah. If you're in a peaceful area like this, and then you click that button, and then everyone can see in their tactical screen all the gun turrets extracting outward like that, and the ship is now bristling. Nice. It's really obvious that you intend to cause some trouble. It's a very aggressive stance, isn't it? We're changing the default, because the default previously was just that all guns worked at all times. And so, if we look at another example of, say, I don't know, this is a good one, for example, same ship but with a second ship over here. It's a fleet-wide order, So if you go to your weapons list, you'll find that most of them are greyed out, this list on the left. And they start turning white gradually as your crew...
As they're coming online.
As they come online. So, if you get jumped when if you go to a system and you get surprised, there'll be a little while before you're fully combat ready, which is intentional. Okay, moving on then. Let's talk about a very much requested feature, shall we? Let's go to this one. So this is a save file from Alpha3. We've got 3 ships. We've got this one, and we've got this one. Same two we were looking at, and we've got the shipyard, which we don't really own. So I have decided in this game mode that I don't really need this ship anymore. Right? It's just taking up space in my fleet roster. It's no longer serving any purpose.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much for your service. I would like to sell it. Right? Now, what I could do is I could dismantle everything and sell all the parts independently, and that's fine. Or I can click on this new sell button up here. Let me just move it out from the shipyard.
That's a beautiful ship. Whoever buys that's going to get a bargain.
Yeah. So right next to where the buy buttons usually are for the other ships that you can purchase, we can click on sell, and we get this new dialogue that attaches to the ship.
Yeah, nice,
you can see that the sale price is 9.2 million credits.
Oh, that's a bargain.
Click confirm.
One careful owner.
And that is it. Right? It is as simple as that.
She is no longer yours.
We also did some work sort of related to this. Carrying on from Alpha3's concept. Remember at the end of Alpha3 I was showing you all this ridiculous docking maneuvers and things like this, multiple ships all pulled together. And you suggested that obviously I wanted to make the Starship Enterprise and have a saucer section that you could detach. Well, you're kind of right. But one of the things that you couldn't do is you could never export this to the Steam Workshop, because when you export, it only does this ship, right?
Okay.
The other ships are just in the same universe, but they're not really... Oh, look at that. There's an even more ridiculous example.
Yeah, it's cool.
The other ships are in the same universe, but they're not really part of the same file. Well, no more. So if I now go to our export ship screen and create a new giant export mess, right, you can see there's a tick box here that says include dock ships in export. Right. See that?
That's nice. Yeah, that's nice.
And I click on create, and now that whole package of ships has been exported as one complete system. And if I bang into creative mode and reload it, you see its thumbnail there. Click on edit ship. Here's the whole thing loaded into position. And we'll pretend that we didn't see that sudden rubber banding effect that occurred on load.
I didn't see anything.
These are all new features from our other new intern, Louis, who's been working hard on this stuff.
Well done, Louis. They're now, you forget. So, they're good lads, and they're, obviously a bit younger than us. But now they have their code is now in a real video game.
Yeah,
played by,
it's kind of cool, isn't it? It's kind of cool. I would have loved to have.
I
would have loved to have had that in my internship.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Let's hope it works, though, right? We don't.
Yeah, I mean, if it breaks everything, then we know exactly whose fault it was as well. There is that. Louis also extended the editor for us. This is a bad example. Let's detach this and get out of here. So I'm just going to leave those behind. So we had this symmetry tool all this time.
Yeah.
So you can kind of add pieces to your ship using symmetry. Well, now there's another symmetry tool in the vertical configuration as well.
Yeah, it's cool. Cool, I like that.
Click that one on, right, and now we have four-way symmetry. Right?
Yeah.
Expand the ship. So it's particularly good for doing. I mean, it's good for like space stations and things. It's good for like when you want to have like Deep Space Nine type. Can we say Deep Space Nine? I'm not sure we can.
Well, you can set everything else. There was something called Event Horizon a minute ago.
We're just going to keep doing it until we get sued, basically. That's the
it's a tribute. It's a tribute to these things. I think we can refer to them as long as we don't copy them. We're not copying anything.
Yeah,
we're just massively inspired.
Yeah, that's right. That's our story, isn't it? Your Honor.
Yeah.
And we'll stick to that, I think. Yeah, nice new feature there.
I like it.
So it means that you can create interesting symmetrical patterns quite quickly using four-way symmetry. And by moving it around, you get all sorts of different effects. It's kind of interesting. Like, what does it mean to have things that are symmetrical over here and then have those attached, like off-axis symmetry like this?
Yeah.
Like Star Wars is always really cool, off-axis symmetry like that, I mean, this is like 30 seconds of messing around,
Yeah, I know. It's
quite,
so cool.
Quite a weird-looking ship,
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, all right. That's cool. Let's leave that behind. Let's have a look at... some hydroponics, shall we?
Okay. Did you really grow potatoes in your own shit?
What's that, The Martian?
That's Martian, yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly. We're going to grow some potatoes in our own shit, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's fly to a colony.
There's plenty of shit in the colony. It's a colony of shit.
Okay, so I've jumped to a lovely little colony, and I'm going to go to the trade screen, and I'm going to have a look for some new stuff. All right, so in the trade screen we have hydroponic garden.
Ooh.
An enclosed greenhouse device that can be used to grow crops in order to feed your crew. Requires compost and water and seeds. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So let's buy a couple of those, shall we?
Yeah.
I noticed down here they also have some seeds.
All right, let's have some of those.
A small bag of mixed vegetable seeds that you might be able to grow in a hydroponic garden.
$1,000.
That's not... Yeah, so these are rare, Seeds are rare. They're not that easy to get your hands on. You might have to shop around a little bit to find some. Also, inflation to the 24th century. It's not actually that much.
In that case, $1,000 is if it is bucks, it's cheap. But...
Yeah, not quite sure the dollar will remain the currency standard once we're into hyperspace. It's very difficult to say, isn't it? Let's clear some space.
Credits and things, isn't it?
Let's clear all this area because this area is perfect. Hop to it, lads.
I'm fairly confident it will be space sterling.
Space sterling? You don't think it will be Ethereum or something?
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, cryptocurrency. Maybe that's when it'll finally have its place. When we're in hyperspace and we need to have guaranteed financial transactions without a central bank. Because without subspace radio, how on earth can you communicate? They're not going to be using the SWIFT banking system in space, are they?
Might
faxing
take a long
orders.
Time. Yeah. And you're not going to want coinage, are you?
I think there probably will still be coins. I do.
No, I don't. There will be, but there'll be objet d'art.
What does that mean?
Well, it means like a thing that you want to collect.
Right.
Like books.
Yeah, like an eccentric thing.
Yeah. Like books, objects, things that you want to have. They
still have it in Star Wars, don't they? Star Wars, they still mess around with like little bars of silver and stuff and coinage that's been minted. It's wonderful. I love it. Right, this is one of the things we need, right? So you remember our waste disposal machine? So this waste treatment machine takes sewage, right, which is a posh word for shit, and converts it into wastewater and compost. Well, we need that compost.
Ah, yes.
It now has a use.
Pipe it into our garden.
So I'm going to create a storage area for compost. Where is it? Here we go. Just put all the compost here, please. Yeah, so compost, it's not a piped thing. It's boxed, right? It comes out in like these giant stacks of boxed stuff.
Nice. That's an appetizing
it's lovely, isn't it?
visual.
Well, it's better than this, right? You've seen The Martian. You know how this goes.
Yeah.
But you know, this here is a very nice waste disposal system, right? You've got the sewage pipe bringing down the sewage, and then you've got the waste treatment machines producing compost and wastewater, and then you've got these machines converting the wastewater into water. So water is also one of the things that we're going to need a lot of.
Yeah.
So let's cable them up, shall we? Always with the cabling. And they are making it quite clear that we need water as well. Aren't they? So they will power up. And then the compost gets brought in. Right? So
nice, yeah.
So the machine starts to fill in these little plots, right? So this is where things are going to be grown. In these 6 plots. And we need to bring in water like this.
Like the water in?
Now we're quite lucky that we have this established system. You can get the feel here that we're starting to close the loop now. You know, we've been talking about self-sufficiency for ages. Like in Alpha3, we talked about how you can make your own ammunition, and how you can make your own FTL fuel, and how you can make your own rocket fuel. Right? Well, now food is one of the last things that you couldn't make. You know, one of the final ingredients.
Yeah.
And so that is what it looks like when you've just started growing.
Oh yeah, look at the seeds, man. They're lovely.
Yeah. Let's see. Did we have any more habitation? Yeah. Let's bring some more in. So they will slowly work away. Now, while that's happening, this isn't going to produce a huge amount of food for us.
No, I was about to ask that. How much do you get out of it?
Demonstration. Well, we'll see when it's finished. I'm going to clear up some space. I'm actually going to edit my ship. Oh no, I'm not. I'm not actually. There you go. Yeah, so you can see that these are starting to sprout, starting to grow. Let's install the other ones. Let's do... bit of a mess, but I guess we'll do it like that. Yeah.
Get one more in there? Yeah.
I always do.
I kind of feel this is what it would be like, right? Like this is the point of it, that it's all a bit messy and crappy, and then as you learn how these things work, then you go back and you go, right, I'm gonna have to redesign it now to fit around these weird shaped greenhouses.
That's right, yeah, fit around the exterior shape of our ship, because I can see these are growing nicely now. So they don't, I mean, this is the idea behind making a new ship, right? When you make a new ship, you can take all this into account and think, I'm going to need loads of space for hydroponics, you know. So you can see that these plots have been filled with compost, and they've been watered as well, which you can just see because they're just a slightly darker shade. I'll show you what it looks like later if you run out of water. It's not nice.
Yeah.
But we don't have enough seeds to fill these plots, so at the moment this isn't really doing anything. But crop growing and everything is sort of it's like a growth process, you know. Like so, once all of these vegetables have grown, we'll get more seeds back out of the process.
You take a cutting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So at the moment, it's pretty basic root vegetables. At the moment, right? We're talking carrots and potatoes. Right? That's where we're currently at. Nothing fancy. No strawberries. No green leaves. No chili peppers.
Oh. That's a shame. We need some chilies.
Yeah, and maybe we'll go there in the future. Now this is interesting because this is kind of as far as I've taken this food growing for now, and the reason is because we have this. They just
look brilliant, mate. They look
cool, don't they? Don't they?
Yeah.
Jesse needs to have a little pat on his back for this artwork.
Yeah.
They're like the biggest carrots you've ever seen. We'll just assume that they're like GM modified space
that's
carrots.
Right. Yeah.
You know, growing in probably very low gravity. But yeah, so you can see it's harvest time, right? The crew actually get involved at harvest time. So they will. So at the moment, the output from that is just boxes of processed food, right? It's just the same material again, right? So this is food, right? That's coming out here. It doesn't go any further than that. It doesn't even come out as potatoes and carrots. It just comes out as food, and you also get seeds out. So as a result of those successful crop growths, we now have more seeds. Yeah, so a little further on in the process, right, you can see that now we have a little bit more of a cycle occurring, right? So now
Okay.
those are all harvested, more seeds were produced, and now we have enough seeds to start filling our subsequent hydroponic gardens, right? We can
The next
grow
ones,
more
yeah,
vegetables
okay.
as a result until we're mass producing.
And then presumably once you've got your cycle going, it's almost like a farm ship, right? You could start selling your
Yeah,
excess seeds.
that's right. And I think that this ship has got so much, has already got a lot of food on board. Um, But yeah, this is the idea. Like if you have a large enough population within your fleet, one of your ships will probably be very good. I mean, hydroponics and waste disposal seem to go very hand in hand at the moment.
Yeah.
Like these are very natural systems because the two primary outputs from waste disposal are the things that you need for crop growth. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you just need seeds as well. Seeds are like your starter, and you can start with just like if you just find one pack of seeds somewhere, it's
Yeah,
enough to
that'll
start
do.
the process. But if you have a water shortage and have a disconnection of water, so what I've done there is I've just disconnected the water pipe to this lower hydroponics garden. So this can happen. So this is a fully functioning recycling water system. Right? This is never going to run out of water, but it's not always like that on board your ships. You know, sometimes you'll be loading water in from containers just to grow crops.
Are we losing any water?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so water is constantly being used as part of this process. It's always being piped in. It's quite
Yeah.
low amounts. The largest amounts are needed at the beginning of the process when you first.
But I mean, in terms of the water cycle on the ship, right? Is it all recovered? Is it 100% recovered?
It is not 100% recovered. No.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of it is recovered through waste processing, but then the stuff that goes into the food. So you can see this is now dried out. This lower one. Right, you see how the soil is dried out. The
Oh
plants are
yeah.
starting
Yeah.
to look a little bit less healthy. Right, this
Yeah.
is what
Yeah.
it looks
Yeah.
like when you don't keep up your water supply.
Yeah.
And similarly, if you have a power cut, it also has to be a powered piece of equipment because it's holding the temperature at the ideal temperature for those crops to grow. It's
Well, and the
essentially a
lights, right?
closed greenhouse. Yeah,
And the
fake
lighting.
lighting and everything as well. So these, if you just leave them like this without any water, they'll just die out, and you get
Yeah.
no vegetables and you get no seeds either if it's that bad. So you can, if you can make a mistake and you can wipe your whole crop out, just like in The Martian, and then
Yeah,
you're kind
yeah.
of a bit screwed because you don't have any seeds either to recover. Yeah, so that's an example of it going wrong. That's hydroponics,
Cool.
and that pretty much closes the loop for self-sufficiency currently. Like I think it's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
possible to be self-sufficient now as a result of all those changes.
So we haven't really mentioned this time round that we are in early access. We're in alpha, aren't we?
Yes.
Which means that the game is a long way off what we would call finished. And
Yes, we're in
every 6 weeks,
active development, alpha
active
process.
development. That's right. Inspired by the things that the players want, and also our secret plan of world domination. But part of it is tracking bugs. Now with PA, I think there are a lot more bugs and issues in there than with last Starship. It's just more mature because we're a more mature business. I mean, like older, not mature.
Famous last words.
Don't ever want to be called mature.
Yeah.
But we've got a bug tracker, haven't we? So
We
for
have.
those issues that are really annoying you, you can
Yeah.
pop them in the bug tracker, and we will look at it and fix the most important ones every now and again. So where is it? How do we get to it? How do we use it? What does it look like?
Right. So if you open a web browser then and go to bugs.introversion.co.uk,
Cool.
you will find that you arrive at a GitHub bug tracker. We've decided to go with GitHub this time. If we had Johnny with us, he could explain to us the thinking behind that. But I think it's just a very nice, lightweight bug tracker. The
Yeah.
real thing going on here is we're starting to get a lot of bug reports showing up in the Steam forums.
Is it live? Are
and
people actually putting
This
these
is
in there?
live, but only us are using it so far.
Okay.
We haven't announced it yet. So these are tests. They are all real bug reports. So, because we don't really want the Steam forums flooding with bug reports, and we don't really want, even on Twitter we get sent bug reports,
Yeah.
Where we found with Prison Architect this was an extremely useful resource for us. And also it just helped when the community wanted to make us aware of something, they could. Because it's always ordered, right? If you come to this bug tracker and you have a quick look, if you want to report a problem, one of the first things to do is to find if it's already been reported,
Yeah.
So at the moment, there's a pretty nasty bug called cache integer overflow, where essentially if you can make it to 21 billion credits in money.
Cache integer overflow. It sounds like some kind of geek rapper. That's going to be my rap name. Cache integer overflow.
All right, from now on you'll be cache
bro.
integer.
Yo,
All
bro.
right, Flo.
I'm
Okay,
the bro
so
with a flow. Cache integer overflow.
what it actually means, I know it's been a long time since you did computer science, and I know you really struggled with it when we were there. But your money,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
if you make it to 21 billion and you earn a cent more, then you end up at minus 21 billion, and then the game becomes quite
I think that should be
quite
policy,
unplayable
mate.
at that point.
I think that should be tax policy.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, who needs billionaires, right? I think that
That's right. Yeah.
maybe this is the progressive tax regime that countries need. You
One-
make too
1
much
cent
money,
more.
it goes negative.
1 cent more, Elon.
You owe us money now. Elon Musk is going to owe us a lot of money, isn't he? After all this. Yeah. So this is Louis, our one of our interns, currently active. So you can. And if you're signed in on here, you can uprank these bugs, right? You can say, I've had this issue. You can put more data in the comments if you want.
Yeah.
You can attach files, save files and the like, which is very useful to us. If you can attach save files that capture the bug perfectly, then it makes it really easy for us to reproduce and fix the bug. And so naturally, the bugs that get the most traction and interest and commentary will float to the top. And that will, bring them to our attention.
Be the ones that we try and fix a couple.
Because we'll know that they're having the most negative effect on people. And you can also look. These are lists of bugs that we've closed. So you do need to create an account. You can't post anonymously, but it is just GitHub. It's obviously not something run by us. So you can just create a GitHub account. I think you can even sign into GitHub with any of the standard sign-in processes. And you can start submitting bugs that way.
Brilliant. The bug tracker is one way to communicate with us. The other way is via our AMA on Steam. So on the 18th of May at 2100 UK time, Chris and I will be on Steam live streaming and taking your questions about Alpha 3 and feedback, suggestions and all the rest of it. So hopefully we will see you there.